Joined by head coach Jonathan Smith. Jonathan, the early signing period now, the second cycle through for the collegiate game with that experience. What do you make of it? And in a big picture question, and then just how you and the staff have gone about filling needs with this class.
Right. You know, I always I like the idea of the early signing date, and so the second year doing it, I think it played out similar. A lot of these kids' decisions had been made, and so to be able to get them locked in December for themselves and for the universities, and so I think it's a good rule to be able to move it up a little bit. It still allows for more recruiting to take place in January, which we'll plan on doing a little, but we're excited about this class and being familiar with the roster now and knowing some needs and knowing the type of players we were looking for. I think we accomplished a lot.
What are the biggest things you wanted to do when you said become familiar with the roster, get some real games in under your belt? After all of that, the priorities, and as you went out on the recruiting trail aggressively, what have you tried to do with this class?
Well, we wanted to be creative in regards to not just a strictly freshmen, majority freshmen, but not strictly freshmen. And so bringing in some players that had a little bit of experience, a little bit older, really on both sides of the ball, and we got that accomplished. We needed some players at really every spot, and you'll see that in the class. But specifically, you know, we wanted to get some speed at receiver, and I think we got that done. We wanted to get some length at tight end, got that done. Defensively, we needed to get some young DBs in the program because we got some older kids that'll be graduating in the next year or two, and so we got that done. And again, at the linebacker position, and multiple type players that could play inside and outside, and we got that accomplished.
You mentioned the line of scrimmage often during the course of the year, need to get better there. Do you feel like that particular aspect of the program has been pretty seriously addressed with this group?
Well, this group will help contribute to that. We're going to always have eyes on that as we go along here, but we'll bring in a few players that'll be here for spring practice, which was huge for us, for them to get some reps, get in the weight room and continue to go. And so the guys we got in at the line of scrimmage will be able to do that.
What about the transfers, Coach? I know you've already been asked, they've been in the program, but how do you feel about their impact as part of this class, the young men who've already been enrolled?
Yeah, we feel good about those guys, and they do kind of count in this class because when you bring them in, they're going to count into your 25 initials, and they're doing that. And so obviously, you got Tristan and Tyjon and Avery and Addison, and those guys will be a part of this class and contribute in a big way. And so a few of them were able to practice this fall, and we have not been disappointed with the way they look.
As a former quarterback here of greatness at Oregon State and a quarterback's coach and coordinator, what are your thoughts about Tristan Gebbia, just as you view him and his potential, Calabasas to Nebraska to Oregon State, your thoughts about Tristan?
Like his mindset, the way he works at it. I think he really loves football, and you can see him out there in practice. I think he's got a good skill set, and so he has not disappointed since he's been here, and he brings a wealth of just energy to that quarterback room that we're excited about.
Coach Lindgren has talked about energy, but also a sense of kind of a rallying guy. The guys kind of flock toward him, gravitate toward him. How important when you see that, you observe that kind of stuff going on in the meeting rooms after practice. What kind of quality does that speak to you
That's
about?
big, man. I think he does have some leadership to him. I think guys do gravitate toward him, and you can see it post-practice, watching film, even up at the lunchroom, guys being around. And I think we've got a few guys like that, but I think it's one of Tristan's attributes that has been nice to see this fall.
On the defensive side, when you refer to transfers, we know that there's some help coming in terms of Avery Roberts and Addison Gums. What can you tell us about potential impact they may have?
Well, you know, Avery was able to practice with us, and he's a good tackler, physical tackler, runs around. I think he's a smart kid. He's learned the scheme already, and so for him now to start contributing with the first group on defense will help. Addison has got some athleticism, good size, has played a little bit of college football already. And so, you know, the other thing we're really pleased with all four of those guys is what they did in the classroom. This first term, all four of them got 3.0s, and so they're invested in the school part as well as football.
You mentioned scheme in terms of Avery already understanding scheme. Your own job as coaches, when you look not only at this class and players, but as you review everything you've done schematically, based on new personnel coming in and so on, right? Some tweaks here and there and different things you do.
Yeah, you're always looking to tweak and improve. You know, I did think we stuck and laid a foundation offensively, defensively, and what we want to be about. And then we got to improve on it. And some of that is making some slight tweaks, knowing your personnel better, knowing the teams that you're going to play, and how to defend them or attack them. So I always look forward to this time of year to be able to do some of that.
You have mentioned the importance of Michael McDonald and the strength and conditioning program and his staff. What kind of work, are you excited to see guys staying with in their own time and their, when it's sort of on them?
No question. I mean, it's going to be a huge part of it, and feel great with Mike McDonald leading that. It's got to be the best offseason we've ever had, and starting in January, and so those guys will hit the ground running, lifting, getting stronger and faster, and that's going to be a huge few months leading up to spring ball.
Jonathan, thanks for the time. Congratulations on what has the makings of a tremendous class, and I know you're glad to be working with all of these folks.
Yeah.
Thanks for the time, Coach.
Appreciate it.
Jonathan Smith.